This is a small note on indulgences. I found this in the back of an old prayer book and I wanted to share it with you. Of course, some of the prayers on this channel have indulgences on it. So it'll say 300 days, 500 days, 100 days, a plenary indulgence, etc. So let me just read this to you, and it's very short, but it's good to hear this. It clarifies a few things. When Christ entrusted the church with the keys to the kingdom of heaven, he gave her power to forgive sin, to unite sinners once again to the life of divine love, and to remove eternal punishment in hell that their sins incur. This, of course, is the wonder of the sacrament of penance. Sin is forgiven, eternal punishment is removed. However, certain atonement for forgiven sin is needed, even beyond the penance imposed by the confessor. Suffering in atonement for sins confessed and forgiven is known as temporal punishment because it is temporary, not eternal. The Church, in her power of the keys, has also the extra sacramental means for mitigating the temporal punishment due to sin on earth or in purgatory. Indulgences granted by the Church draw upon the superabundant merits of Christ and the saints and release the person from all or a part of the expiation due for sins already forgiven. In the early church, those who had sinned gravely and publicly were, after the sin had been forgiven, put under certain disciplines which restricted their participation in the liturgy. These disciplines lasted for various lengths of time, 300 days, 100 days, right, just like indulgences, and are, to a certain extent, the basis for the various amounts and degrees of partial indulgences. Partial indulgences remit a certain amount of the temporal punishment due to sin, as much as God would will pardoned to those who did the corresponding public penance for the duration of time noted. Simply, prayers and devotions with partial indulgences have attached to their proper use the power to remove some of the temporal punishment due to sin. A plenary indulgence has the power to remove all of the temporal punishment due to sin. Part of the work that must be done to gain many plenary indulgences is designated as the usual conditions. And you'll see that sometimes, written in prayer books. It'll say a plenary indulgence with the usual conditions. These conditions are confession, communion, a visit to a church, and prayer for the intention of the Pope. And then usually with the prayer you're saying, you get, an indulgence, a plenary indulgence. Anyway, I hope that clarifies a few things. A plenary indulgence is great because it removes all the, the punishment that should come with that sin. Anyway, and if you check on this channel, many of the prayers, if you go into Catholic prayers, I have a playlist. There's a lot of prayers there, and some of them have indulgences on them. Check it out. Thank you.